So solar power, is it worth it? Is it worth the money? Have you missed the boat? If you haven't installed a solar system already, have you missed the boat? Now that the terrific feed-in tariffs are gone, is it still worth doing? So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Okay, so this is actually my third solar installation. I've done three now. My first was 10 kilowatts of solar panels with a 5 kilowatt inverter on a business. Okay, and I had a 44-cent feed-in tariff, which lasts until 2028. So back when I had these installed, the electricity price was about 20 cents a kilowatt. So I was making about 24 cents on top of what I was getting charged for electricity, which is a great deal. The government of Australia did that for people to encourage solar uptake. And yeah, we put on my business and it worked really well. I had a grid connected system, no batteries. Okay, so no batteries, all grid connects. The second system was 5 kilowatt solar panels and inverter on my house. So this is on my business. This one's on my house. And this one got a minimum feed-in tariff. I missed out on the 44 cents per kilowatt feed-in tariff. I missed out on that for a variety of reasons. But so I only got the minimal feed-in tariff, which I think started at about 6 cents, which is nothing. It didn't seem like it was worth it. But now, because electricity prices have gone up and gone up and gone up, it's now getting 13 cents a kilowatt. Okay, so as power bills increase, so should this, whatever your feed-in tariff is. So even if it starts off really bad, it should increase over time as power bills increase. And again, grid connected, no batteries. So they're all grid connects, no batteries. The third one, which was on the house I'm currently living in, and it was completed about 2 months ago. So I've now got a full month of a power bill, so I can talk about this one now. And it was 13.2 kilowatts of solar panels with a 10 kilowatt inverter. And the installers told me that I could do 10 kilowatts output to the grid. So that's why I went with a big system, not a 6.6 kilowatt with a 5 kilowatt inverter. I went with 13.2 and a 10 kilowatt inverter. So I went massively bigger than I needed to try and export as much as I can to the grid. And the solar installer told me that I could do that here. I could output 10 kilowatts to the grid. Okay, but when the system went live, the installer said to me, "Oh, by the way, I've limited it to 5 kilowatts because that's all you can output here." So it looks like I got ripped off, and I was really annoyed about it because I'd really done my research and I really researched this installer, and for him to pull a trick like that right at the end, so he got me to sign his iPad to say that everything's installed properly, and I signed it. And then he said, as he was hopping into the car, "Oh, by the way, I've limited it to 5 kilowatts." And I said, "Why?" And he just shrugged and drove off. So I was, I was really angry about that. But anyways, I'm talking to the electricity company now to get this raised to 10 kilowatts. I've got to spend a bit of money to have this raised. But it might be possible. So I'm talking about that now with the electricity company. I've got a minimum grid feed tariff or feed-in tariff, and it goes up as the electricity bills or electricity prices increase, and it's currently around 13 cents a kilowatt. Again, it's grid connected, no batteries. So all of these first two went really smoothly. This third one, I got this shock, and I'd done my research, and had this nasty trick pulled it on me right at the 11th hour. I would have gone for a much smaller system. If I'd known I was limited to 5 kilowatts, I would have gone for a much smaller system, costing half the money. Okay, so anyway, that's where we are. So the cost of these systems, the first one, a 10 kilowatts solar panels with 5 kilowatt inverter, that was about $28,000, maybe a bit more, maybe 30,000, and that was back in 2008. Okay, I actually did a 5 kilowatt of solar panels first, and then later on I upgraded it with an extra 5 kilowatts of panels, and I put all the panels on stilts, so half are facing towards the east and half are facing towards the west to give me the full 5 kilowatts for most of the day, which was brilliant. Okay, that worked really well. So there was an upgrade there as well. So about 28 to 30,000, I would say, for that. This one here, the 2 kilowatts, the 5 kilowatt solar panels and inverter, that was about $15,000 in 2017. And the 13.2 kilowatts of solar panels with a 10 kilowatt inverter, That was $10,500 just about 2 months ago. So you can see the prices are dropping very quickly. And I could have got a lot cheaper than this. There was crazy bargains on TV and on the internet. They're advertised for less than half of what I paid. I went with a reputable installer, a local guy, and also someone that had protection built in. There was also a company behind him that guaranteed his work. So I had like 2 layers of protection, and so that's why I was prepared to pay a premium for this install, because if my installer goes bankrupt, the company that's behind him supports me, and even if the solar panels guys go bankrupt, the people who made the solar panels or the inverters go bankrupt, and they're not around in 30 years, this middle company should still be there, hopefully, to protect me. So I pay for an extra layer of insurance, and I could have got this system here for under $5,000 if I'd gone with the cheapest installer. But I wanted to get a good job done, and when this rip off happened, I thought, bloody hell, even the good guy ripped me off. So you got to be very careful with solar. There's a lot of shonky, rotten, evil bastards out there that will rip you off. So be careful. More about that later. Okay, so the solar system went live on the 4th of August. It went live. And then instead of being billed every quarter or every 90 days approximately, my billing frequency changed to monthly. So that's why it's a 19-day bill there and then a 31-day bill. So with the first full 31 days bill there for August. And it's been a pretty hot August, actually. It's the middle of winter here in Australia. And this has been, but where I live, it's quite hot. It's quite a hot area. It's inside the tropics. So there's no real winter here at all. It just gets a warmer summer, a cooler summer, that's all. It's a hot summer and cool summer. And so it's been 31 days, cloudless blue skies every day, no rain for 31 days. So that's been what it is. And so I went from having a quarterly bill of about $150 to $200, around about $150 to $200, um, down to getting a credit of $110 per month. So this is per quarter. These are all per quarter, 90 days or so. And this is for 31 days per month. So I've gone from having a power bill of about, well, let's say $50 to $70 a month in charges to $110 in income. So that's pretty good. I'm outputting a lot of electricity here, even though there's a 5 kilowatt limit. And it's gone from costing me $1.59 or around about per day, 220, 230 per day, to getting income of about $3.50 per day. So this is the net figure. This is taking after I've used power. This is what I've exported the excess to the grid and my power bill. My power bill is minus $110, which means I've got $110 on credit at the power company, and I can request that to be transferred into my bank account if I want to. So, which I'll be doing. Okay, so I've gone from having a cost to getting a nice income, $3.58 per day on average. After I've used all my power, after all my power usage has been taken into account, I'm still making $3.58 per day. So that's quite nice. And there's my latest bill. And you can see there's my feed-in tariff. That's what I was talking about before, the 13 cents per kilowatt that I make for all the electricity I export. So I used power. I used about 56 kilowatts for the month. And my solar panels produced an excess after offsetting my usage during the day. This is 56 kilowatts at night, by the way, I think. Yeah, at night. And this is 1,243 kilowatts exported after taking into account the power I used during the day. It's offset that already. Okay, so I've gone from got a $56 bill there to $167 credit there for the solar, which that this minus that leaves about $110. So 167 minus 56 leaves about $110 of income for the month. Okay, so that's where the $110 comes from. So as power bills go up, and they are going up like crazy, this should increase. So our power bills went up by 20% and then jumped by 30%, the rate we're being charged for power. And so So this should increase in the future as power rises, which is good. Good if you're producing solar. Good if you've got solar on your roof and you're producing excess. Okay. And here's a graph to show my power bills over the last 18 months or so. And you can see they've gone negative now. Negative's good because it means you're making income. It's a negative cost, so it's an income. Okay, so I've gone from having a power bill, uh, between say 100 and $200 a quarter, down to making about $110 per month in winter. Okay, so we'll see what happens in summer. Some of the days are longer, so should be generating more power, but I'll also be running ceiling fans and maybe even an air conditioner during summer. So we'll see how this goes in summer. I'll do another video later. Okay, so what? So what does this mean? Well, the first thing you need to keep in mind, electricity prices and electricity bills are soaring. This is happening all around the world. Electricity prices are increasing. It's happening in China, the USA, England, New Zealand, Australia. It's happening everywhere. And people are really feeling the pinch. As electricity prices, so should your solar export feed-in tariff, that 13 point whatever cents per kilowatt that I showed you on a previous slide. Okay, so that should increase as electricity prices rise. It does for me. It should for you if you as well. So if you've got solar, but check with your electricity company. Mine used to be about 8 cents a kilowatt. Now it's 13 cents a kilowatt. So it's almost doubled in 5 years. So for me, if I multiply my last bill by 12, my last bill, which is $110 in credit, by 12, I get free electricity, plus I'm making an annual income of about $1,320, if that holds true, the $110 income per month gross credit per month. If that holds true, I'll make about $1,320 a year, tax-free. Okay, tax-free, so that's nice. It's good the tax office hasn't started taxing the income, but they haven't so far, so that's good. Even if the 5 kilowatt export restriction remains for me, I don't get to do the 10 kilowatt, my solar system will still pay for itself in less than 9 years. Okay. So I've got a 9-year payback. I didn't have a loan, didn't need a loan for it, I just paid the money. My solar system was about $10,500 fully installed. Okay, that was for 13.3 kilowatts of solar panels and a 10 kilowatt inverter. I went for all good quality stuff. I wanted the best. So, I went for brand name components that I can trust. Not no name fly by night brands. I went for quality brands. Yeah, I went for the Toyota of panels and the Toyota of grid inverters. So I want my system to last, no problems. The solar inverter will probably need replacing every 10 years. They've got a 10-year warranty, so hopefully it'll last 10 years, but it might need replacing every 10 years. The solar panel should remain 90 plus percent productive for 30 years, and after that they should slowly decline further. So 80%, maybe another 10 years, they'll be still 80% efficient, and so on. So as long as they're not destroyed by hail or storms or whatever, these solar panels should last at least 50 years. And after 9 years, apart from the inverter costs, if I'm replacing the inverter, the solar output should be pretty well profit. So I've got 2 slides of recommendations. The first one is efficiency first. Okay, make your family and your house as energy efficient as possible. Get into the habit of saving power. So low energy light globes, turn off lights if you're not in the room, turn off heaters and air conditioners if you're not in the room, all that sort of thing. On cold days, if you can, put on extra layers of clothes instead of turning on heaters. And in summer, if you can survive with ceiling fans or pedestal fans, use those instead of air conditioners, okay, because they're much cheaper to run. Okay, and cold drinks are good too. Cold drinks, pedestal fans, ceiling fans. Move into the shady part of the house, the cool part of the house, and so on, if you can on hot days. So that'll save your air conditioner use, which is very expensive to run. If you can, Insulate your house, double glazing on doors and windows and so on. That's all very important. Energy efficiency, energy minimize use as well. And if you run heaters or air conditioners, minimize the space you are heating or cooling to just part of the house. And make sure you close all windows and doors. Okay. Don't run your air conditioners with your windows and doors wide open. So that's my recommendations, part one. Make yourself energy efficient. Save power wherever you can. Okay. Part two is if you can afford a solar system and you live in a sunny area and you've got a good facing on your roof, so you're not facing, so you don't have shade on it all day or trees hanging over your roof all day. So if you can afford a solar system and you've got a roof that's good for solar, it's a great way to cut your costs and perhaps even generate income. It depends on your usage. Okay, but you can generate a lot of income. $1,300 a year I'm looking at, perhaps. Which is a nice chunk of change. I'm going to be very grateful to see that. Very happy to see that at Christmas time or whatever. Um, if you do hit your grid export limit during the day, so if you're outputting, say you've got a 5 kilowatt inverter and you've got 10 kilowatts of solar panels on your roof, because you might be facing them in different directions. If you're producing more than 5 kilowatts of solar, that's the time when you want to be doing your washing, your ironing, you're charging your electric car if you got one and so things, because it's free power. If you're not exporting it and you're producing extra, it's just being wasted. So you might as well use it. And I usually boil a jug and make a whole bunch of cups of coffee then and put them in the fridge because I like cold coffees as well as hot coffees. And I charge all my battery appliances then, my cordless drills and that sort of thing. I charge those then as well, and whatever I can do during the peak of the day. A warning, I'd avoid really low cost quotes, and you'll see them on Facebook and YouTube and on the internet. You'll see quotes that just look ridiculously low on TV. Low cost usually equals low quality and or really crappy customer service if something goes wrong. So what I'd encourage you to do is use a local installer and with a great track record of proven installations. Go and talk to the people he's installed for. Ask him for names of the last two jobs he did or she did, and go and talk to those people and see what they say. And always do your own research. So read articles about solar panels and inverters. Do your research about people's experience and what they recommend, especially for installers and for brands. And then you won't fall into the tricks and traps. I've heard of people use these low cost. There's people you'll see advertising on TV and the internet that just have such crazy low prices, much cheaper than the local installers will do it for. And when you do research on those people, you generally find that most of the systems don't work after 12 months, and there's a whole lot of lawsuits following them around, and they usually go bankrupt after about 5 years and then start up another company under another name because they're really, really shonky people. Maybe not always, but a lot of the ones I've researched have been that. So avoid the really low cost, crazy low price installers because they'll probably leave you with something that doesn't work after 12 months and you'll spend your life on the phone trying to get them out to fix it and they won't come. So anyway, that's my recommendations. Hope the video was useful. If you can afford it, solar's a great way to go. And if you get a good quality system, you'll be outputting electricity to the grid for 30, 40, 50 years and longer and still have panels that are really efficient. Okay, so 80% efficient, 70% efficient still after 40 or 50 years. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I hope the video was useful. Thank you and have a nice day.